drew the pottery that I'm going to show coloring today, and I'm going to color it with the pastel color. And I'm also going to use some pencil colors to take out some more details. I'm going to use these shades of brown and these shades of green and a little bit of yellow as well to color the leaves and the pottery. So I took out my favorite shades that I'm going to use for the pottery part. I'll start coloring with yellow ochre and keep a tissue at the bottom of my hand so that I don't smudge the page and make it dirty. Because I said pastel colors tend to get dirty, so I'm just going to keep it below my hand so that it does not get smudged in any way. Now I'm going to start coloring from one of the sides at first, because it's a must to start coloring from one side and then proceed to the others. I'm using this dark peach color, which is named as the pale brown. So I'm using this pale brown and coloring this whole part. Now I'm going to use this darker brown, which is raw sienna, and then just take out some shades from here. I'm going to color very lightly. Now I'm going to use some brown, which is the basic brown, and then color it from one side. Remember, when you color, one side should be darker than the other because the light does not fall evenly in all the places. One side is dark and the other is light. So in this drawing, I'm taking the left side as the dark part and the right side as the light part. So I'm going to use this color to create some darkness in this side. I'm using a little bit of yellow for the lower part. So I colored the whole thing yellow, and I'm going to use some raw sienna to take out some shades. Like I said, one side should be dark and the other should be little light. So I'm using the darker shades here and keeping the lighter parts over here. I'm going to use some brown and some dark brown. I finished coloring that part. I'm going to color the lower part and give it a little bit of more details. And if you find it hard, then you can use this part of the color to create some edges in the side. Now I'm coloring the mouth of the pottery with yellow ochre color, and I'm going to paint the whole thing yellow ochre. I'm finishing the mouth but leaving some spaces in between for the little plants that I've drawn and that will color in the later part. And again, I'm using the burnt amber color to take out the details. I'm done with the pottery. Now I'm going to use these green colors to color the leaves. I'm going to start it from this side. I'm going to color these leaves at first with the light green and then use the dark green colors to create the details. So I finished coloring the leaves with shades of green. Now I'm using the dark green to create the details. I'm not doing it very evenly, just leaving it in an abstract form to be understood. I left some white spaces earlier so that I could fill it up with the darker green later on. So I'm just doing that right now. So after finishing it, it's going to be a little bit of smudgy. Some of the dust is going to be here. So just remove it really lightly and blow it. If you want, you can also erase it or remove it with the tissue paper really lightly. And now I'll be adding some finishing details to the pottery using the pencil colors. Because the pastel color is a little bit thick and fatter, you probably won't be able to do it properly with the pastel color, the outlines and the details. So I'm using this media as well to create all the details. I'm not using very fine black lines or any brown lines. After finishing the pottery, I'm going to get to the leaves, and now I'm going to draw the leaves really nicely. Not the whole thing, but just a little bit of it to make it seem realistic. I'm also going to use the dark green color so that it mixes really well and it does not, really stare at you with those black eyes. So that it does not look really artificial, I'm going to use the dark green color. Just color some parts roughly like this. And I'm going to use this Prussian blue color to take out some details from these parts. I'm not directly using the black color because it makes it look too dark, so I'm using the Prussian blue instead. But if you want, you can also use the black color to take out the details really well, because in some of the edges it's very important. So I'm just going to outline these properly. So I'm almost done with my pottery, coloring with the pastel color, and I've also left a plant in the pot. If you want to see where I got this idea from and what I'm copying, then here it is. I'm copying this one to make it this one. In the end, if you want, you can also use some white lines that I'm doing to understand the importance of light in some places. And now I have a complete picture of the pottery with plant, done with pastel colors and pencil colors. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, put a thumbs up.